It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My ego politico, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get it higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. My ego don't the politico, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. Man of the masses, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego don't come, oh, yeah, yeah. My ego la wa mo do do do. My ego diary, my ego number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làwọn tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary na ibi nọ́mbà wọn. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bíjó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra jù.
Máyégún.
Today. Hello there. So good morning to you again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you're joining us. It is the prime time with Mayegun live. And thank you very much for joining me and others. So after reading the caption of the broadcast, please read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and as many of them as possible, and tell them that Mayegun is live. And yeah, consider this as the continuation of what we had this afternoon. As it is also a report coming from the last or this past weekend activities. Gbajabiamole is the chief of staff to Thiefnubu, the ticket Simba of Anambra. And, hang on, okay, my date is, apologies. I should have fixed that. And that can be a distraction in itself. Sorry, it's like I'm like living in the past. Sorry about that. So today is the 15th. Take that on, okay? But let's get on with it. Right? So last weekend, Gbajabiamole organized, a kind of get together that will lead to an endorsement of a gathering. All right. So it was the ex-lawmakers in Nigeria, the ones they could get. They were all invited to congregate in Abeokuta. The purpose is to remind all of them that as everybody is getting ready for the 2027 charade, it is expected of them, right, to pitch their tent with Thiefnubu for so many reasons. It was also a meeting convened with an agenda of, fostering unity. That is, to talk more about how to keep us united without, not acknowledging, or should I say, with the acknowledgement of the existing tribalism, bigotry, and the rest of that, the weaponized tribalism. So Gbajabiamole is preaching unity, peace, and progress, because if everybody can see, Thiefnubu took a decision as a leader, not as a politician. And that is why he removed subsidy. He brought his reforms and all of that stuff, right? The first day he came to the office. And the reforms are working. Exchange rate is stabilized at over 1,600, practically from 400 naira, by the way. So it's stabilized. The inflation is coming down. They just announced, by the way, that their inflation dropped again to 20 point something, meaning things should be begin to get cheaper, just like they have promised. So to him, Thiefnubu did all of that because these were the actions that were supposed to have been taken decades ago. And he's doing that now for the sake of the future generation, not because of the next election. Meanwhile, the purpose of bringing them together was to, have them endorse Thiefnubu for second term. Right? So join Sha. So I have copies of that chart. So I've kind of cut some irrelevant stuff out, okay? And fair enough, I left some that you can ponder on, starting with his opening speech and every other thing therein. In part, that is where we are going to start from this evening. So as you are joining, remember, after reading all of that, right, like share it before you kind of like settle down, start engaging the broadcast. So in Abeokuta, where Thiefnubu's second term has now been endorsed by ex-lawmakers. So the host was Dubious Dapo, Gbaja was the chief kind of like convener, organizer. So here is part of, is part of the opening speech. Let's start with that. Gbaja, Thiefnubu is a leader, and there's actually a bit of sleep. I hope you will notice it, right? There's a bit of a sleep in his conjectures, right? He said Thiefnubu took that decision because the leader thinks about the next elections. And I was like, no. I mean, the leaders thinks about the next generation. I'll take the first sleep. Let's start with this.
The National Forum of Former Legislators is a powerful network of public servants from across the country, men and women who have dedicated their lives to the service of this nation and have done so, some at significant personal cost. The members of this forum played vital roles in ensuring that the emergence of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Many continue to serve in government, helping our president serve this country and implement the renewed hope agenda. The federal cabinet alone includes 15 former members of the National Assembly. This is a first in history. Like one of our social commentators always say, you can fact check me. That number, 15, does not include the president. It does not include the vice president. It does not include the deputy chief of staff. It does not include the secretary to the government of the federation. And it does not even include me, all of whom are veterans of the federal parliament. The renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is anchored on the unassailable belief that while it is not in our power to change the past, it is our obligation to do the hard work today so that our tomorrow can be better than all our yesteryears. The renewed hope agenda flows from our president's belief that yesterday is not ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose. As such, we must build for ourselves and for our children a nation where everyone can succeed by the strength of their endeavors, where optimism is not reserved only for the privileged and powerful, and where peace and prosperity are the birthright of all our citizens. With the signing into law of the tax reforms, President Tinubu has ushered in a new era of economic justice, built on fairness, accountability, and national purpose. These are not the actions of a politician thinking about the next generation. Or rather, these are not the actions of a politician thinking about the next election. They are acts of extraordinary statesmanship by a leader whose highest concern is the fortune of the Nigerian people and the fate of the next generation. Let me put that in another way so that it sinks home. Many of us, and most of us, if I must say, are politicians. What I just said goes to this effect, or speaks to the choice that President Tinubu had to make. He could either be, or make a choice that he'll be a politician, or he'll be a leader. Let me tell you the difference between the two. A politician thinks about the next election. A leader thinks about the next generation. If President Tinubu had decided or opted to be a politician, trust me, the reforms you see now, which will have their consequences naturally, would only start in his second term. He would only embark on those reforms in his second term. But because of the conviction he had, and because he knew he had a job to do, not for himself, not for the purpose of the next election, but for the purpose, and he was thinking of the next generation, he decided to start his reforms from day one, risking everything. But we thank God that Nigerians are so astute, they've become so astute, that even they have seen and they understand where Mr. President is coming from and where he is going.
Now to unfa ma okuta to wa nbe ma yoku nbe ma sabi gbata ba nsa ewa.
Gbaja, you know something about their politicians or these guys is that they can nearly convince you, if words are enough, the next generation, a leader thinks about the next generation, not the next election. Therefore, to Gbaja, Thiefnubu fits into that. And that is why, as they are currently doing, like doctoring data in order to look good on paper, when the reality is not really felt by people, while they continue to tell the people that, no, it's going to be better. The reform, what are the reforms? You devalued your currencies, and then you went borrowing, while your citizens have been sorrowing. There is no real investment brought to Nigeria by Thiefnubu that you can say it is because of his reform. His best investors are the IMF, World Bank, Afrexim Bank, African Development Bank. These then Chinese, Exim Bank too. These are the regular customers of Thiefnubu. Everywhere he went, he's going with that bowl in his hands, begging, as much as they are making ridiculous pronouncements, which ordinarily, right, when you are making a reform, you say, you know what, our reforms on electricity, for example, Thiefnubu's reform is to tax you, is to pick your pocket. To them, that's reform. So they can tell you that they have more money. You get that now? But at the same time, they are borrowing more. And they are convincing you that you have more money doesn't mean that you can't borrow. But in that same breath, they are praising themselves that the reform is working. We have more money. There's more money. See, it's generating more money. And all of that ridiculous manipulation. And they will do it so convincingly. The future generation, Baba, Nigerians, so I don't know, maybe if you get debt forgiveness, true too, right? Except if you get debt forgiveness, even the Nigerians, those who, if Nigeria continue to exist, right? Nigerians that will be born in 100 years' time, right? If Thiefnubu stopped borrowing today and become so honest with you by opening their book for you, right? And stop borrowing entirely, it will still take Nigeria another 89 years to pay off the kind of a debt that Nigeria has currently incurred. Half of that by Thiefnubu. And that is what they are calling investment. It's not because they're making more money from you, even with all the taxes, because people have become poorer. So taxes in itself that they are, it's just like double taxation and some other chronic way of squeezing you, like the ones they get from the import. So far they know that the country relies more on importation. So yeah, they make a lot of money from that, not considering the fact that you are going to be the end users who eventually pay for all of that. Now they have more money, but yet is legacy projects that is announced all of his projects from Lagos to Calabar, Sokoto to Badagry. This one, they were all attached to borrowing. Do you understand? Like, every one of them is attached to borrowing. And in the process, they continue to push different lies that they themselves are believing. You get what I mean? And to lift people out of poverty for these guys is what they call the intervention. Is by sharing 5,000 naira or 10,000 naira to a handful of people. Why billions, hundreds of billions would develop wings and disappear. But yeah, Gbaja, Surulere, Aristotle II, he was daily prepared. He used the medium to deliver a speech that paints everything fantastic. And if at the point, right, it wasn't that great fantastic, right? But everybody's believing that everything is coming back normal, everything is getting better, Hi, politicians. Meanwhile, left, right, and center, you get to see unpaid workers, unpaid pensioners. And when you ask them what's going on, they will say, it wasn't Thiefnubu that owed them, sort of, So whatever it is that is so obvious, they will tell you that that wasn't Thiefnubu. But they continue to live in their own world. So in that part, yeah, Gbaja also used the medium to talk about the fake unity of Nigeria. We have to be united. Our unity is all this kind of talk, right? Let's go to that one. Gbaja.
Nigerians, we thank those of you who have been able to send that message, that dire message which initially everybody was arms akimbo, that where we going, oh, we're hungry. But they realized all Mr. President has done is to press the reset button that should have been pressed many years ago. And we thank him for that. Now, while our vision is clear and our destination certain, it is not lost on us that the journey itself is not an easy one. Fixing the things that have long been broken imposes cost, entails sacrifice, and requires time. That is why, under the leadership of our president, this administration has pursued a two-pronged approach of reforms. On the one hand, and targeted interventions on the other hand, to ease the burden of sacrifice on all our citizens. National unity is the sine qua non for national development. If there is no national unity, there can be no national development. Where there is no peace, there cannot be progress. National unity is not the absence of disagreement. Disagreements are part of the human condition. However, national unity defined as an active commitment to live and work together in peace ensures that every disagreement doesn't devolve into an argument, and that even when we argue, we don't do so from a place of fear, anger, resentment, and naked appeals to our worst instincts. Our differences are not a weakness unless we choose to turn an asset into a liability. Our diversity can be a unifying force. We can draw strength and inspiration from the scintillating variety of culture, music, arts, and traditions that we have here and that are so greatly admired across the world. Unity does not mean we must all think alike. No, far from it. It does not mean we must all vote alike or worship in the same way. But it does mean that we must agree on one thing. Nigeria belongs to all of us, and we will rise together or fall together.
ọ̀rọ̀ tó sọ yìí
People who are responsible for the weaponized divisive politics are talking about our differences shouldn't be a cause. It should rather probably be a blessing. You get what I mean? It should be our strength. Unity in its words. What is unity without respect? However, over time, before the advent of the APC, Egbekegbe, at least that was the word I grew up in, though, right? Before the advent of the APC, Egbekegbe, so you always have this cultural display, cultural exchanges, and all of that in our schools and all that, in a way to probably get us, familiar with the country that we're growing up in until APC Egbekegbe came recently, and it's still ongoing though. The Ronukus were busy on social media, right? Nearly causing this probably like a tribal war, sort of, nearly. Simply because an Igbo girl, an American Nigerian, I've been a Nigerian American, I don't know, but she's an American, right? So she's into art, and she had this exhibition scheduled for time, I think this month, in Lagos. And in that, right, she was like a Lagos cultural, blah, blah, blah blend. Okay. And the Ronokus became very angry. They said they were doing cultural appropriation, that people should not touch anything Yoruba, because Yoruba's always called Owambe, Owanibe. There's nothing called Owambe. It must be Owambe. That one nearly caused social media earthquake. A social media quake. It was that big enough that they threatened that event must never hold in Lagos. It is an insult on the Yorubas for an Igbo girl to be appropriating our cultural. So the Gbaja and his gang, they are aware, very much aware. In that speech of his, he referenced that by saying, oh yeah, we've had this cultural mix, this and that, and it's part of our strength. But on the other side, with what is playing out, even right under his nose, as it is so very much like evident all over the social media, he glossed over it. And then it was like, oh, our culture, our tradition, this and that, they are so beautiful. That's in context, right? They are so beautiful that the rest of the world have been trying to either copy or to learn it, to celebrate it in particular, which is true. You're going to see people from all over the world, right, who have picked either one cultural, traditional connection in every part of Nigeria. Do you understand? And in the process, either through marriages, partnership, or even cultural exchanges and all of that. So over time, you get to see non-Nigerians who are even so proud of some of the traditions in Nigeria or cultures in Nigeria. Some have actually made fortune from exporting same to the Western world. And people are always like, people like me now. If I go to, for example, let's say I am like on holiday, for example, to somewhere in Europe, and then I attend probably a local market and all that, and then there they are, Nigerian wears, maybe dresses, maybe some of our jewelries and all of those cultural stuff. Then you are like, as if to say you've never seen them before, right? And you want some, probably that moment, you just want some, you want to take away with you. That could be like amulet and what have you. So they've never really been a problem about that until this APC, Egbekegbe, and the Ronukus all over the place, okay, who have now become so sensitive, so to say. And the sensitivity is mostly against the Igbos. And because people believe that these people I personally too believe that they are politically sponsored, because they were never like this. Now it is, and it's going to probably get worse. know why too. So, but you're talking about unity in that sense, glossing over it, and then going ahead again to say something about we shouldn't appropriate our cultural stuff. You're going to hear that part too, right? It's going to say, you know what, in this our differences, blah, 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 we should try and not to be appropriating other people's cultural stuff. That's the way I heard it. Maybe you should listen in that part of the speech as well. Gbaja is talking about unity.
Our history is fraught with actions and reactions that continue to breed and foster resentment. For those of us of a certain age, this is our inheritance. But we are not condemned to leave the same legacy to our children. So what must we do? We must talk to rather than scream at one another. We must listen to rather than hear one another. We must forgive whatever age-long grievances for the sake of our children. Nation building, as I've always said, is a joint task. That task goes beyond building roads, bridges, schools, and hospitals. Nation building is about forging a sense of common identity and purpose among citizens. It is about nurturing institutions that are fair, transparent, and just. It is about creating opportunities for all citizens, north, south, east, and west, to thrive regardless of their background. Nation building is about ensuring that in the application of our laws and in our ordinary interactions as citizens, we reflect due reverence for the traditions, religions, cultures, values, and institutions of others, recognizing that people hold dear those totems of identity and will always respond in terrible ways when they appear to be threatened, appropriated, or otherwise belittled. Nation building is a continuous process from one generation to another. We are engaged in a never-ending process of defining who we are and what matters to us. Nation building is not the work of government alone. Every citizen, every institution, and every person here at home or in diaspora who has a stake in the Nigerian project also has a responsibility to help build this nation. Yes, the government has an obligation to lead the way by modeling the outcomes we wish to see and become part of our national culture. That is why the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a matter of policy and practice, is committed to a governance that is fair, transparent, and inclusive. For the first time in our nation's history, the 6 geopolitical regions in the country now have dedicated development commissions with a mandate to channel federal resources to develop and implement infrastructural and human capital development.
Did you see his countenance when he was talking about, how we all hold our cultural, traditional, religious, and all those beliefs, and we tend to fight back when those things are threatened? Could you decode that, yeah? It is just to give a bit of a shout out to the Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis, saying, hey guys, even though I'm talking about unity, that there is no Hausa, there is no Igbo, there is no Yoruba, we are all one Nigeria and all of that, and we need unity in this country, blah, 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 blah. I'm still going to tell them that if you feel threatened that anybody's coming to come and take your religion, your tradition, your culture, you feel threatened, or anybody is trying to appropriate. The word appropriating your culture simply means, make I tell you, right? Appropriation, okay? Simply means like, I am a Yoruba man, an Ijebu man, right? So if I decided to just, for instance, let's say I love the epic cultural, maybe dances or food or those kind of a thing. Like I just kind of like love the epic people, right? And in my wardrobe, you're going to see some epic traditional wears. Do you get it now? And somebody who is an epic is upset. Why is this Ijebu man dressing like an epic man? You are threatening me, because before you know it now, all these Yorubas, all these Ijebus, they will begin to say they are epic. Oh, Ijebus are coming to try to come and take over epic people. Kind of must be mental illness, right? It must be. While the real threat, by the way, right, that is in general, universal with evidence, is that of the armed Fulani terrorists and their sponsor, the Boko Haram terrorists and their sponsor, and every other terror group that have been sponsored in that contraption. They are the existential threats. Verified. Somebody who want to dress like an Igbo man. Suddenly an Igbo man is angry. Why would this Hausa man dress like Igbo? This is what these Hausa people like to do. Now, small thing now, they will be claiming that they are Igbos. Rough. And you're sure you don't have mental problem. This is my own kind of understanding, but an average Ronuku will disagree with me, which is okay. It's all right. But we're just trying to reason here. Cultural appropriation. Why are you calling it Owambe? Because there is no in Yoruba. That's how dunce and retarded it can be to be a Ronuku. Your education won't matter. I just did It's a sound, isn't it? Oloronimbe. Mamora. That's a popular name. I'm just saying, right? But majority of them, as retarded as they choose to be, do all this caution into the air, and they were raging, angry. How can you be? You are insulting the Yorubas. You are not respecting your host. We are telling you that it is Owambe. It is not Owambe. I mean, come on. Cultural appropriation. And they are so angry in gaslighting those of you Yorubas as well. Because if you feel like, what's between all this madness? They will say, you this Yoruba Libra. I think they have a name for people like it. They say, you are Yoruba Libra. These people are trying to take over our land. These people are trying to dominate us. These people are, and you are here speaking English. This one, you are just an anomaly. Instead of you to stand up and join them in the hate, kind of like a crusade. And you're like, okay, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to, where do you want me to start? Anyway, just anything where you just say no. It's crazy, right? Now, this is the final part where Gbaja actually toasted his colleagues by kind of having them to see, after having said all of this, Thiefnubu has been very fair. He has created commissions. He has given jobs. He has balanced the economy. And right now, for peace and unity of Nigeria, it is better for him to do second term. And we hereby endorse him. Yeah, of course, they endorsed him. Koolu for second term. Yeah.
Why are we here? Now, honorable colleagues, this hall right here is reminiscent for me of the chambers where we all sat together once upon a time, whether the green chambers or the red chambers. We sat not as Igbo or Hausa or Yoruba, but as legislators who swore an oath and who were pushed to uphold the unity of Nigeria. Now let's take that principle that we all sat with while we were in the chambers, outside, into the real world, so we can stay united and keep Nigeria united. Let's work together with and for our president. It is not. Many have preferred arguments that let the South finish its 8 years. Let the Southwest complete the 8 years. Let President Tinubu complete the 8 years of the South. Many have said that. That argument has been canvassed, it has been made, and it continues to be made. That argument cannot be faulted. And I support it wholly for sake of unity, fairness, and equity. But beyond that, there's an even more compelling argument. So it's a twofold argument. One, equity, justice, and unity. But there's an even more compelling argument that is to be made and to be pressed home. What is that argument? Our president, unlike any before him, is bold enough. He has taken bold steps to hit the reset button towards a better Nigeria. He's taking bold and audacious decisions in retooling and restructuring our economy and in re-engineering our finances. He is playing the long game. Let us rise as legislators and support him fully. In the words of our national anthem, though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. And in the pledge of our allegiance, we declare our intent to defend her unity and uphold our honor and glory. These are not just words. They are a solemn commitment and a call to action. Therefore, brothers and sisters, citizens and patriots, let us rise from this day with renewed determination to build a Nigeria where unity is a lived reality, where our diversity is our greatest strength, and where generations yet unborn will be proud to travel the ends of the earth and declare with confidence, like the Romans of old, I am a Nigerian.
That's why I called him. No, I'm going to come at you. Stay away. So that's why I called him the Surulere Aristotle the second. He's delivered. He's actually doing his job. Oh. Do you understand? Like, he's doing the job as the chief of staff to Thiefnubu. And he's not expected to probably deliver less anyway. His job is to give everybody, somebody like him is believed to have access to the, to the best information about what is going on in Nigeria. He is next to Thiefnubu. By definition of their hierarchy, he is actually the most powerful person in Nigeria. Like Abba Kyari, remember him? The difference between Abba Kyari and this one was that this one is a politician. Abba Kyari then was said to be a technocrat, like all this ambassadorial stuff, right? Yeah, like, so you don't get to see much of him. You only feel him. So this Gbaja is that powerful. His chief of staff means the person that recommended somebody, the last clearance, they recommended somebody to be appointed into any position and every position in that contraption under Thiefnubu. If they made 10,000 appointments, they had to pass through the office of Gbaja. Yeah, he's that powerful. And I don't really probably have to go into details of that. So he's doing his job, giving them the talking point, making them also realize that there's a lot at stake. There's so many of you seated here. You probably have one or two things you are also benefiting for the fact that, so if you fail to let us keep Thiefnubu beyond 2027, we are all going to have a lot to lose. And that is what is called the establishment. Presently, people believe that Thiefnubu has the election to lose. What does that mean? Simply means that for those who knows how the Nigerian system works very well, it is his to lose, which means it is his own, it will be his own choice to lose, because majority expected him to rig. He's got all of the resources to do that. So, but would that be enough? Would the power of incumbency be a true advantage? There is somebody who has something to say about that, right? Because according to him, it can be an advantage and it can be a great disadvantage too. In 2019, Nigeria was almost like this in that kind of era, because then, if you look back, it will come be like say then was better than now. Buhari was resoundingly rejected. But you all know what happened now. They had to rig him in. It damned the consequences. And the only region that was believed could trigger a serious, probably a serious breakdown of law and order in the country if they joined the South was the North. They were told then not to do anything. So it was like, okay, if the rest of Nigeria have rejected him or what have you, and he's managed to announce himself as a winner, so it was easier to mobilize not just the police, the military, and the rest. For anybody who wanted to reject that election then, they were able to mobilize their supporters, who indeed knew, just like now, they knew then that he didn't deserve any second term, but it doesn't matter. It didn't matter. ABC must be in power. And the victims will have to make sure of that, including if they have to kill themselves. It was that bad. So, but, well, it ended in court. So this is going to be your 2027 again, where the country is in serious agony, and including the Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis themselves, the Lagos Sabobakus, the Oshogbo Alimajiris. But with the help of with the help of the military, the police, and the rest of them, Koolu would have to succumb to a very, very superior power, and that would be the power of, I think, the parties involved, because it's beyond that your vote in your election. And we have those who strongly believe that election can't remove Thiefnubu. But there's somebody who probably feels otherwise, but meticulously explained how that will play out. Because it's not just going to be like, oh, incumbency is going to be against him because of the state of the country and what have you. If the opposition themselves are pure rogues. Well, that's what came to my mind. Yeah, listen to this. Incumbency and Thiefnubu.
Unlike what most people think, that incumbency, and you now quoted somebody saying that 40% of incumbent,
he already has 40%.
He already has 40%. Now, let me tell you, the advantages of incumbent are basically three. One is name. If you say Bola Tinubu, even the boy on the street knows Bola Tinubu. Why? Because he's the president. So name is important in politics. Then two, he has the control of the machinery of government, and in a system where rule of law and constitutionalism and institutions are weak, like in the case of our country, he can direct the security agencies to play his game. He will have unfettered access to state treasury, and then he will have a structure, already established governmental structure that will be of help. These are the advantages of an incumbent, but he has a huge disadvantage also. And like this regime, where its policies and programs and projects have caused hardship and disillusionment in society, incumbency becomes a disadvantage. It is for the opposition to now narrow on this, come up with the right messages, and come up with the right means of driving this message into the society, and the opposition and the incumbent is as good as gone. We did that in 2015.
Yep.
I have told you here, and I have said it severally, we came up with the idea of forming the APC and then using the APC and the weaknesses, the disadvantages of the PDP government then to get the government out. And in this administration, it has even tripled of these disadvantages of the PDP government. So as far as I'm concerned, the incumbency in this political dispensation now is a huge disadvantage that is a huge political capital for the opposition to use only if the opposition knows how to use it.
Their messaging must be right.
The messages must be right. The means of delivering of the message must be right. And the time, because strategy is very critical. Time is very critical in strategy. If you come early, you mess it up. If you come late, you mess it up. So you have to time it and give it, at the right time.
Like a
But the thing there is that everybody would still have to play according to Thiefnubu's dictates. You understand what that means, right? It simply means that as it stands, as it is presently, everybody will play by Thiefnubu's rules. The laws, his power, as well as the INEC, your electoral, this and that, your judiciary, which is so vital. They've taken over that place already. You understand? Already. So, you would still have to play by his own rule. How are you going to have to beat him in that same rule? Let me tell you something. Where's my phone? I don't know if this information means anything. It doesn't matter. At least you will remember. You know that it's been a month now, or thereabout, when they started their voters renewal, voters registration stuff, right? In that last 4 weeks or thereabout, INEC has released that 4.4 million have registered new people that are registering now. And the way these new registered voters, right, the way the number is distributed, I won't say anything, I'll just tell you, okay? So far, Osun State have registered 552,000 new voters. Remember, this their exercise is probably going to run till next year, and be surprised though. So Lagos has registered 488,000. Borno 439,000. Ogun State 396,000. Kebbi State 287,000. Kaduna 240,000, Kogi 218,000, Abuja 213,000, Yobe 212, Oyo 181, Jigawa 93, Kwara 93,000, Ekiti 85,000, Delta 81,000, Sokoto 75, Niger 72,000, Bauchi 63,000, Imo 62,000, Katsina 61,000, Zamfara 57,000, Nasarawa 56, Akwa Ibom 38, Gombe 31, Benue 26,000, Taraba 24, Bayelsa 20, Adamawa 12, none like that. And the last, you have Ondo 10,000, Edo 8,000, Abia 3,000, 3,000, Enugu 1,800. So you may be expecting them to come and snatch ballot boxes and just change figures, like you probably, right? And the North that brags of having a lot of votes, and they would deny Thiefnubu in 2027. Your case may end up being like that of when I was doing labor job in Udogulu back then. I was very young. So they would tell us then that each block, because you have to carry block, that fabricated block, right? You have to carry blocks. So probably the first floor or maybe second floor, depends. So they will tell you how many you have to carry. We were young, I was tiny, right? So, but there were others who were like my age mates, but they had body, they done it very well. So the man who was the foreman, I would say maybe the foreman or supervisor. So while I was busy kind of like struggling with one block. So the guy would say, you will count your money very, very well at the end of today. And what that simply meant back then was that while everybody get paid what they have to be paid, my own money won't be completed, like, because I didn't do. So I shouldn't think because we are, you get what I mean? I shouldn't think that because the minimum will be paid to me means that everybody will get the same. No. So for all of them, the three Kardashians in northern Nigeria, this is the time you are probably going to realize that one single Thiefnubu vote from Osun will begin the council vote from Kaduna, Katsina, Kanu, all together. And I go come scream, say, hey! For example, Kwakwansop will score his usual 1 million or 1.2 million. And then they will say, Thiefnubu scored probably, let's say 500,000 in Kanu, 200,000 200,000 in Katsina, and maybe 200,000 in Kaduna. That would be like 400 plus 900,000. So that means in those three states, so Thiefnubu get 900,000. They will come tell you, say, from Osun State alone, Thiefnubu scored 1.9 million. Now, when I will call the one that say, when did that? Look, what happened? They will say, did you not see all the registration? Did you not know that Thiefnubu is from Osun? They will tell you that Ogun State, Thiefnubu scored 1.3 million. Osun State is scored 1.9 million. Lagos State is scored 2.3 million. Now you go come the wonder, say, how come? How? They say, you don't know that all of you have awakened the Yorubas, especially you Igbos. You have awakened the Yorubas now. Yorubas want to make sure that they stand behind Thiefnubu. Now, so they're in the work. And then you'll be like, I thought, I'm gonna, like, who are the Yorubas who now voted Thiefnubu? All these millions. So, but by then, it will be too late because it will be your president for the second time. And then you go no say their own kind of permutation may not even go the way you are used to. I'm not trying to scare you because there's nothing to scare. You get that now? There is no scare already, it's everywhere. I'm just saying When you pay attention to all this stuff, you realize that it's not strategy, it's just people who are going to organize your elections. Imagine now, they give you this and say, hey, this is the 10 commandments for 2027 election. IRF, important. Givers, very important. Transfer of results is this. Blah, 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 blah. They give you that one. You can't carry that one. Can't take and do pendants. They work everywhere. This 2027, rig and die. This 2027, anybody that rig, he die. See, it's here. Number 7. It's number 7. INEC said anybody that rig, die. Say, really? That's a good one. No? But meanwhile, behind the scene, they are there drawing what and what they are going to. And that one is not with you. That one is with Thiefnubu, because they are the committee to plan your elections anyway. They are the ones who knows which server is where or anywhere. So they are there. They are analyzing and say, okay, so we get, all right, so remove that one. So that one, who is that? Peter, how much is that? 25,000. Change them to 2,500. Like that. Yeah, that one, remove that one. So scientifically, but by the time they are done, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to scare you, because whatever you even plot to do, you are still going to hand it over to them. And by your law, they are the only ones that can say this is the winner. So what are you going to do after that? You're going to go to court. Right. Then you have the sandpapers and sand everywhere. It's going to be chopping time. And that is why you are seeing them cashing out billions and billions as payment for electoral litigations. And the cycle plays itself again. You get to Supreme Court, they tell you, say, make you go try another time. They say, this country, everybody can shackle, can raise. Yeah. They say, na willing willer. Now, because you lose election, that's why you won't burn this country. It's not going to be about how you were rigged out. No, it's because you lost. Nigeria will be great. They said they did the same thing under Bokuwari until Bokuwari's time nearly ended, and the majority of them, they can be like what Yoruba called for Jolo. You know what that means, right? Yeah, it seems like when Bokuwari was living, majority of them that started with Bokuwari, they ended with Bokuwari. Because the economy don't choke many, that we now have working deads. It's a long story. But I mean, the victims, so those ones who survived till now, instead of them to recover, trailer Thiefnubu's economic trailer, now I the smash skull. Everybody just po. Figuratively, like literally, right? I mean, literally. Anyway, leaving that aside, how this plays out at the end of the day, nobody knows. But inside Thiefnubu's Nigeria, where law and order or rule of law is gone, then human rights abuses using the same court that was supposed to be they say the last hope of a common man, and also the last hope of uncommon man. It's a place where the high and mighty and the low and what have you seek justice, and the justice come not because of your probably your status. Justice is blind, but not in Nigeria, where Lady Justice, once he smells the bale of cash, come on the food, the blindfold, look up, you are guilty. That's exactly what it is under Thiefnubu, the fake progressive. They call themselves progressives because they are not progressives by any means, by nothing. Omoyele Sowores, which has been coming under constant state vilification, harassment, and bullying, is standing trial for bullying. Imagine people where they bully you, can't take you to court, try to jail you, by claiming that you are bullying them. That's how crazy it is. The police IG, illegal police IG, who is currently occupying the office of the Inspector General of Police of Nigeria illegally, when he was due to have retired from the police force a year ago. And somebody pointed that out, including other corruption going on in that place. But it is rotten. But Nigeria believes that not today, is that your business? It's not your business. You should face other thing. Because all these things now that you are sharing to the public, you are trying to make the police IG to look bad. But pensioners are not paid. Police officers are not well paid. It's ridiculous. Promotions have been altered. All because they wanted to keep the fund and the money. Like, these are regular things that should sort of like jolt anybody. But of course, it is not about the message in Nigeria. It's mostly about the messenger, unfortunately. So the persecution of Omoyele Sowore, he was in court today because similarly, Mazi, nnamdi Kanu, who has been a prisoner of a conscience, locked up illegally under trumped-up charges in Nigeria, he has been demanding for a proper medical attention away from his captors, the people who have kept him under, underground cells, incommunicado. They have mentally tried to break him. They've tried physically. Everything failed. But until they are satisfied, they are not obeying any court order. The court have been presented with so many evidence of these abuses, abuse of power, abuse of human rights, and all that. But it is Nnamdi Kanu. Nigeria can always bend the rule to suit the whim and caprices of the criminals who are controlling them. The judiciary that is not independent, is that a judiciary? Huh? So whatever was in court today, watch this.
The greatest of the greatest Nigerian people.
Great!
We have just been through some of the most interesting court hearings today. And this is related to the charge brought by the illegal Inspector General of Police before the Federal High Court, claiming that I colluded with unknown entities to forge police wireless documents. And this is the third time that the case was supposed to go into a stage where we will plead to the charge. I'm very happy today. Not that we are not facing tribulation, but I'm happy for the brilliance and intelligence and the tenacity of our lawyers. I must tell you that our lawyers are a rare breed. They are different in every ramification. And the judge acknowledged it today. 10 of them.
Wow.
Represented us today. More could have come. But we also tell them that this is a distraction, so they should use their time judiciously elsewhere. And so the judge agreed with us, even though they were close to carrying out their illegal arraignments. But the judge was told, on very clear terms, that it doesn't matter how desperate you are, you cannot ask a non-juristic body, a body that doesn't exist legally in Nigeria, to take a plea before you. And one of the other lawyers reminded the judge that assuming you go ahead to ask our reporters to take a plea, in what language is our reporters going to take a plea? And that was the point at which it became very clear to them that this is one of the efforts to waste time, energy, and resources of the Nigerian state. But we are standing firm because our position is not this. Our position is the liberation of our country.
Yes, sir.
And we are very, very serious about it.
Yes, sir.
But the liberation of the country also takes a lot of ramifications.
Yes, sir.
You know, it will be by physical, mental, legal, and some will say even spiritual intervention.
You're right, sir.
So whichever way they come, we must confront them. And today is in the courtroom. Next time we'll be on the streets. And I know that these days they are also very scared about what happened in the past. And what I've always said, anytime I have the opportunity, Nigeria cannot escape a revolution.
Yes, sir.
It's impossible. And I will never tell anybody otherwise. That even if I'm not the one who will carry out the revolution, it will still happen.
The position is this. We should get it very clear.
Yes, sir.
What happened in court today, just like I've always said, should not be treated in isolation.
Yes, sir.
It's part of the general struggle of liberation.
Yes, sir.
And if we have our opportunity, at every point in time, we have to tell all the institutions, including our judges,
Yes, sir.
that what is at play here is just a struggle between the forces of change and the beneficiary of a system that fear accountability.
Yes, I love that.
The beneficiary of a system that embraces corruption.
Yes, sir.
Beneficiary of a system that is killing the masses.
Yes, sir.
And when you see how much in the dog, you must know that what is in the dog is the voice of
The people, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
It is not about it's not about charade.
Yes, sir.
This case is a clear case of the joblessness of the Nigerian police force.
Yes.
It's a clear case of joblessness. At a time when bandits are ravaging the nation. Terrorists. At a time when kidnappers are picking our children, our mothers, our fathers like mangoes that fell from the tree. The Nigerian police deem it fit, unfortunately, to charge Omoyele Sowore on a matter that is supposed to be a civil matter. Why? Because he spoke truth to power. Yes. You see, their ears pain them whenever truth is told to them. That is just the simple truth. This is a clear case of wastage of taxpayers' money. I have looked at the charge, painstakingly looked at the charge. The charge is defective, both in form and in substance. Even a university student cannot drop that charge.
Yes.
I have looked at it and said, why? Initially, when I looked at the charge, I said, no, this cannot be drafted by a police officer.
Yes.
But when I looked at the people that signed the charge, this is not to cast aspersion to our colleagues in the police force. But it does not speak well for a lawyer. Maybe at this point, we'll be asking the NBA to even question whether they are even called to the Nigerian bar.
Exactly.
Because this profession is a noble one.
It's not impossible.
There is a reason why it is called a noble profession. You don't just file frivolous charges. But let us not preempt what is going to happen, but let us continue to struggle. The struggle must continue. It is not about Sowore like Maxwell has said. It is about Nigeria. We must build this country. We will not join those who are jackmarring. We decide to remain here.
Yes.
A lot of us have the opportunity to leave Nigeria. Sowore has the opportunity to leave Nigeria.
I left and came back.
But he decided to stay.
Yes.
I have the opportunity. You have the opportunity. But you decide to stay. We must fix Nigeria. And there is no better way to fix Nigeria than what we are doing today. Aluta Kontuna.
Yes.
I'm highly disappointed of Nigerian government because the Nigerian government were highly disappointed in them due to foreseen circumstances. Definitely, I'm one of those people approving. People should die in coronavirus is more better than people should die in hungers. Hunger kills more than coronavirus because some people are less privileged. Due to foreseen circumstances that I said it, some people are less privileged, which they are based on daily pay, which are not even based on salaries. But our government thinks that the lockdown is the best solution to coronavirus, and proving it to an extent and to the levels of alacrity that if someone die in coronavirus, it's more efficient to die in hunger, because some people will be at indoor. There's no a way to make.
Thank you, Jerry. Prof. It's been a while. So, Omoyele Sowore is again being charged on frivolous charges, wastage of public resources and time, something that could be used for something more meaningful, more productive. But we are talking about Nigeria, power mongers, so to say. It is a different world, completely different from what you and I possibly considered as normal world and what is abnormal. You get that now? They live in their own bubble, a different world. And it is so, I don't know, like it is so generational, right? That if you look at it today, more than 60-70% of those who are wielding different kind of powers in Nigeria in different capacity in that country today, they were nobodies, at least 2 decades ago. Some were actually nobodies a decade ago. Today, they are holding sensitive positions, making critical decisions that they ordinarily knows that will affect not one, not two, but millions of people. But they still make the decisions anyway. Decisions like denying the people the good governance that they deserve. And what is good governance? A system that is built on probity and accountability, where those who are given such opportunities knows that they are given opportunity of responsibility. And if they falter, if they mess up, it comes with consequences. A system or a power given to them in trust. You understand? A system that gives you good governance includes the one that cares about your health, your education, which is about your skills that you need to thrive in this life. A system gives you that, an opportunity to be able to get trainings, get skills, and at the same time, an opportunity where to put those skills into perfect use, productivity, opportunities when they build roads, when they construct, power structures that gives you access to power, 24/7 electricity, things that help your productivity, your health, or your education, or infrastructural wise, so and as well as, these are the things that will create opportunities that will then guarantee your pursuit of happiness, which in itself is the foundation of being a citizen of any free country. They say you are free because as a freeborn, you have every right in this land of yours to pursue your happiness legitimately. Anything that makes you happy. As a freeborn, go on, just don't break the law. How is that so kind of like, so when you look at it that way, you realize that most of these guys who are holding this power today, they were nobodies then. They were possibly like me and you, who thought things should be done better. Now they got the chance, and they repeated the same attitude of those they were once looking up to. Say, man, look at that person. Lieutenant Governor, Lieutenant General, General so and so. See this one, His Excellency, distinguished senator, look at that one, speaker. Look at this. People they were looking up to. They were watching them loot the country. Some of them they disagreed with, only for them to have the opportunity and nothing different. Rather, worse. Human rights abuses, you can't talk. They suddenly become so, so intolerant, so to say. Suddenly, everything irritates them. Everything makes them feel so like angry. Their ego is bruised. You have to respect them. Do you know who you are talking to? Do you know me? I can make you disappear. Do you know that? I can. Calm down. Come on. At the end of the day, they leave nothing. No real impact. But more damages. It's worse now that they have added, the tribal division, ethnic division, all of them politically weaponized. Inibere says something about that at one of the APC lawyers program in Lagos, Akinola, Abina Akintola, Akinola, I don't know. But here, they weaponized tribalism, which is mainly political.
As far as the leading candidates are concerned, they are all Yorubas. But why is it that any candidate that does not contest on the platform that Tinubu supports, they were attributing to the Igbos? Who is the Igbo man that wants to be the governor of Lagos? Who is the Igbo man that is going about grabbing people's land? I have clients and defendants that are Yorubas. It is Yoruba people that are grabbing their lands. Let us stop these politics that we are playing, deceiving ourselves. We cannot change Nigeria without being honest. This tribalism is meant to keep APC in power. And I'm speaking as someone that has documented hatred for PDP. So you cannot say I'm speaking because, and by the way, when they say Igbo, where do you put some of us? I'm from Akwa Ibom, I don't speak Igbo. I've never lived in Igbo land. I'm a proud Ibibio man. But when you look at me, what do you see? Nigeria has an Igbo problem. And we have to be honest about it. Nigeria has another problem from the Civil War. Nigeria was out that conversation. And please, in summary, the solution to this issue is rule of law. Everybody should be subjected to the law. When you violate the law, you should be treated as someone that has violated the law. The law should not look at you as a Yoruba man. The law should not look at you as a Hausa man. The law should not look at you as a Muslim or Christian. Let us be honest with ourselves. Tinubu is married to an Igbo person. So tomorrow, if Tinubu wants to be governor of Lagos State, you will say that he tainted law. This is politics that is going on. And if we are not honest to address it, we will continue to live this demonic poison that has destroyed this country. This whole generation has defeated my generation. And my generation is determined to put an end to it. Thank you.
Since when I born you never seen this kind of abuse before. Tinubu, I must abuse you. Tinubu, number 1, Oguokiyapa. Tinubu number 2, Oguokiyama. Tinubu number 3, Oguokiya your children. Tinubu number 4, Ogugo bury all your family. Tinubu is a god to you, a god to you. Tinubu is a god to you, and Wausa.
They have weaponized tribalism, keep you so torn apart, and it is working. If you dare recognize it and you call it out, there is a name for you too. It simply means you are a bastard. You are not supposed to see it that way. You are just supposed to join. Don't you get it? We are preserving our cultural, our tradition. These people want to control everybody. They want to, there is this one that called it jealousy. They say it's Oba Eze Undigbo of Lagos, right? And it is, where's that place in the Solo again? That is Solo area. What's that place called again? I saw his video. So it's like, it's not just online, right? It is offline too. And those who have been pretending to be indifferent are not limited to just Yorubas. There are Igbos who are pretending to be indifferent, but whenever they speak on it, they just feel like, we don't know. We don't know why they start saying that the Igbos must go. Igbos must go. Like, what have we done? We have not done anything wrong, this and that. But hey, if you have been around long enough, it simply means, and you are acting like, what have we done? What did we do? It simply means you have been living in denial for a long time. So the stake is higher right now. And they wouldn't mind to even kick off a civil war, even though they probably don't have the capacity to kick off a civil war. But they wouldn't mind to ignite it because they have raised a base that they can easily ride, and they have raised them based on Igbo hatred. And they are letting everybody believe then that because the Igbos hate them too. So me as a Yoruba man, if I say, no, I don't hate the Igbos, and I don't think any Igbo hates me. Look at this idiot. Look at this one. He's always pandering. They said, you Igbos are giving me money. Yeah, they said that you Igbos, you are the one giving me money so that I can always talk good about you and also talk bad about the Ronukus. One of them, in fact, two of them. I saw two comments. So one said, don't mind him. He's jobless in his island. It's because of this Igbo money they are giving him. That is why he's always coming to abuse Thiefnubu. But if they said, oh, that's why he's abusing Thiefnubu, it won't make sense. They said that is why he's supporting the Igbos against the Yorubas, because I am supposed to join them. Yeah, that is the theory. If I can't see the reason why to hate the Igbos and start telling everybody that the Igbos, then I'm not a thorough Yoruba. Maybe I am tainted blood. It's crazy. And it is politically weaponized. And there are those who are pretty much playing into that theory, into that trajectory on all sides. While APC, they don't even have to do anything anymore. It's like planting that seed and you watch it germinate. And right now, you don't even have to go back there. There are people who are watering it with their tribal, ethnic laws, hatred, this and that. So they don't even have to do anything anymore. It's been planted, unfortunately. But here is the man that says the king of what's that place called in the Kotme again? You remind me though. There is a complaining and wondering. We don't know why. Oh, maybe it's because of jealousy. They are jealous of us. Now, when you listen to people like that too, right? At least it was a bit clearer because he said, we don't have problem with the Yoruba this, we don't have problem with that. But he wouldn't say that the problem is with this APC sponsored, politically sponsored hatred. But for the record, right? Here.
Came up. And all Igbos in Lagos, when all of them travel, you will see that Lagos is always be empty.
Yeah.
Lagos will always be empty, totally, until all Igbos started returning back to their business premises in Lagos. But sometimes I'm asking myself, wondering why our Yoruba brothers are doing this. And I believe there's a lot of Yorubas are educated. When I mean educated, much educated in this country and outside the country, and they have their leaders. Like Oba of Lagos State, Olowo Eko, is my very good friend. Oba Eko is my very good friend, and I've never seen Oba engaging trouble or engaging war with other tribes. So when this fight come up in Lagos Island, I feel so bad that you use a bottle to stab your fellow human being because it's not from your tribe. And when the person you stab bottle retaliate back again, it become war, which is very wrong and very bad. I am now using this privilege and this opportunity to ask my Yoruba leaders, their Obas, their kings, their lawmakers, their governors. I am calling on them to let them address this issue, because we are one. We are one Nigeria. We are intermarried. Yorubas married Igbos. Igbo people, they married Yorubas. So sometimes I'll be asking myself why these people are always envy Igbo, because it is envy. When we came to this Lagos as second-class citizens, Igbos we are not first-class citizens in Yoruba land. Believe it or leave it. We are not first class. They are the owners of the land.
Yeah.
We came here to establish business and do things good with them. That is why you can't say an Igbo man build a house or build any property or invested in Lagos without buying the properties. They will sell to us and we will buy and pay, and the Igbos will do follow the normal process, normal procedure. Wow, what an Igbo man will do in anywhere he lives, he must follow the due process. Because you can't build in somebody's land without due process. It's not possible. So sometimes I'll be wondering why they are fighting Igbos, asking us to go.
and we are still one Nigeria, and the Igbos are investors. We invest very well. When we are investing, it will affect everybody. Come to Lagos State today. Go to Mandalas. Mandalas, Igbos have invested a lot of money in Mandalas. Go to Ojalaba International Market. Igbos invested a lot there. Go to Trade Fair. Igbos invested a lot. Go to Idumota, Tejo Osho, Computer Village, just name it in Lagos State. Ladipo Market. But at the same time, these people will always fight us, looking for trouble, looking for one way or the other, asking Igbo to go. Where are we going? Why? I don't know why they always do this. And we have the elders of Yorubas, we have the Obas, we have the leaders, we have the governors, we have people that are representing this country. So as a king, I am a king of Igbo in Nigeria State. I'm not a king of Yoruba. I'm not a king of Yoruba people because I'm not a Yoruba man. And it was my Igbo people brought me out to be their leader. When an Igbo man...
You heard that? So was being interviewed to react to all these, developing, brand core talks and all that. And it was like, what have we done wrong? We are investors, we are here. And he acknowledged that they are the owner of their land. You will never see any Igbo man that is going to say Yoruba land is not, Lagos is not Yoruba land. Do you understand? Or saying that, as it is currently constituted, we all know why Lagos is Lagos. And we all know why, how much of Nigeria's resources have been sunk to help create the economy you see in that Lagos today. Now, if anybody is there legally doing their own legal business and what have you, not breaking any law, why should anybody weaponize hatred against them? Hatred that is politically sponsored. Oh, then he's asking for their leaders. That's another mistake. Because all of this is kind of sponsored. Yeah, it is sponsored rage. There is enough reason. Now, let's give you reason why you have to be angry. You shouldn't be angry about the state of Nigeria that much. You should be angry. The Igbos have taken over everywhere. They will soon begin to remove our Oba. They will soon make themselves the next governor. And we must make sure they can control Yoruba land. I say, but there is no Igbo trying to be governor of anywhere in Yoruba land. There is. We must be smart. They have a way. They are marrying our sons. They are marrying our blah, blah. Come on, man. So they want you to have a reason to be enraged. Yeah. Once you dissipate such energy on that kind of frivolity, even if you have to kill somebody for it, fine. But you won't have the energy to possibly fight them if you are by any chance called upon. Because no, you won't even have the motivation. That is the contraption they have created. But the old man is a little bit deluded, or is just living in denial. And that is the repetition of we are one. We are one Nigeria. Sorry, are we one Nigeria? Because that's somebody who can easily just remind you and say, how many times did they tell you that Nigeria is not for you? Asari would disagree. Unfortunately, he's currently eating from that Nigeria though.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man. I am mumu too much. You be mumu. You think say they wise?
Say they wise. Well, let's leave that a little bit. There is an embarrassing video, 2 embarrassing videos coming from Anambra State. The first one is that of the APC, Egbe's governorship candidate, Ukachukwu something. Nicholas Ukachukwu. He's the APC governorship candidate in Anambra. Until yesterday, somebody, accosted him and accused him of being a debtor. Obviously, that's not really good for politics, right? 1 billion naira. Shouting match.
You want to run for governor and your own people. You are running for governor and your own people. Pay us our money. Anambra people reject you. Anambra people reject this man. His own people. Anambra people reject you. You are owing us 1 billion naira. You are owing us. You are owing us 1 billion naira. Pay us our money. Pay us our money.
Tiagasa, they tiagas him. He fell, he fainted, he passed out. He passed out. 70 years old man.
Old man. Iruk, you are here. Oh my God. They tiagas him. He fell. He fainted. He passed out. He passed out. 70 years old man. So, there's so much drama going on in Anambra State right now that there is no evidence that he owed them money. Don't get me wrong, because I don't have that evidence. But that video has trended enough that you can easily say, maybe it's also politics. Because these guys were just saying, Anambra people reject you. Anambra people reject you. You are owing us 1 billion and you want to be Anambra governor. Anambra people reject you. That seems like if somebody owe you 1 billion naira, I don't think you are going to be interested in Anambra or anything, because you want your money. You would rather just be like, hey, you need to pay me. We did a job for you. We did clinical TNC. Like, you start saying things like that. But when you begin to be like, if they owe us money, you want to be governor. If they owe us money, you want to be governor. Anambra people reject you. Anambra people reject. That's a red flag for me. But I may be wrong. Yeah? So similarly, at an event, we saw those they claimed to be DSS, by the way, dragged out a man identified as a commissioner of youth in the same Anambra. Kilo lifa go lalakoko fefe. What did they happen? I don't know. I believe that a commissioner has his own security orderlies. Now, I don't know if they also give them DSS. But this particular drama was also captured on camera. The commissioner of youth.
How can you block the road? How can you come and block the road? Why you attack?
We are here to make peace. Because this is not the time to fight. This is not the time to fight.
How can you come and block the road?
We are a poor nation.
the bank coal will follow. They say firewood, not smoke. They say we need to plant more trees. And they are not giving us money. We need to open our eyes, shine it, and tell the West. If you don't guarantee our finances and work with us to stop this, we are not going to comply with your climate change. They're doing.
They do it. Mind you, here is another lawmaker. You know, a lawmaker from, I think it's the same Anambra as well. I'm going to tell me where they stay, brethren. So a lawmaker, his name is Dominic Okafor. He's representing Abeokuta Federal Constituency. Is that not in Imo State? I've been in Anambra. Abeokuta Federal Constituency right now, who decided to do constituency project of empowering his people with wheelbarrow. I mean, that alone is actually something that is so directly insulting to an average Igbo person. Like, it's like, that's an insult. If somebody wanted to insult you and they decided to buy you wheelbarrow, as an Igbo person, right? Because that's the reactions I got. Now, what that, like, you know, anyway, he said he got it for them to help them with their farm work. So it's not really like they should be using it to do kaya or carry anything. So to say, politicians, just so you know. I'm gonna drink water. Don't mind me all. I was planning to recreate this Koolu's sort of. I know I can't be that petty, by the way. Let's go to something else. Still happening, right? Back in this contraption as captured. Here is a senator. I think I have his name. Unwoyi. I think that's his name. But forget that wrong. Don't worry, I'll correct it eventually. So his name is, is Unwoyi, senator. Right? It's showing us the road that happens to be the federal road. Right? The federal road are called Angano, the Onitsha, Aguleri, Adani Highway. Right? For those of you who are from that part of Nigeria, in the eastern part of Nigeria, the senator went there to show to us, or to show to Devolumai, that this is something too that has cut off a lot of communities completely away from like Nigeria, so to say. So you just have to find another means of reconnecting with, let me show you.
Engineer, come now. Or you don't want to come, don't watch us. Of your nature. 33. Aguleri. Anako, Omo, Adani. Highway, Federal Express. This is a road that connects many communities. Agrarian in nation, agrarian communities in nation, these communities produce farm produce, but no way to transport them. This food, as I say, it was controlled and separate. People of Ireland cannot access them. They have to go through shortcuts, through motorcycles to get it. This federal road is not up. For me to go now, to go to the other side, I have to, my woman to fight with they can't go. The federal road, we are getting to honorable minister. We are going to Mr. President, who has given tax approval for him. to intervene urgently for this road to be awarded, for succor to be given to the people of Anambra North, for an urgent palliative first through emergency repairs of the critical sections, emergency pending award, the main award. The people of IML local government, the people of Anambra local government, the people of Anambra West local government, the people of Onitsha North, Onitsha South local government, who want to go to Abuja or who want to go to Onitsha from here, or that some people who want to bring their products from here to Onitsha. Onitsha people, the residents who want to from here to go to here, they can't go, they can't move to a federal road. And no other route. The other route is very far. That other route that is not a federal is very far and it's almost cut off, dilapidated. It's an appeal. A motion has been moved by my humble self on July 2023, barely a month after I was sworn in. The president has given tacit approval. The Bureau of Procurement has done their own part through no objection. It remains the final phase, which is an award. But I understand the issue of paucity of funds. But pending the approval by National Assembly or pending the sourcing of funds for the main award of this road, because it's a stretch of almost between 50 to 60 kilometers in length. Let there be emergency repairs of critical section so that people can access this. But the one that is most paramount is their main award. Is an appeal to Mr. President, it's an appeal to Honorable Minister of Works and his team, the entire management, and also Honorable Minister of Finance that will come and assist for funding. I don't know, I have questions to ask. You could see. Are you seeing any vehicle? Are you seeing any vehicle? You cannot believe that this is a federal road. You cannot believe. Yes. So.
And that is almost the same all over the country. And sadly, it is how they are politically prioritize every part of the country, all of it for political reasons. The most that their politicians, especially from the eastern part of Nigeria, the most they could do is just to put up that kind of performative show. There's a theatrical show like that, where they are going to show to you, look, while others are busy also displaying their own white elephant projects that are not directly in large scale to impact the region. So it's more or less like being so contented with whatever little they give to you and with thanks, because that's what their political class have always been. I mean, like, others have been pretty much like brutish about it from other part of the country. But from the eastern part of the country, it seems that their political class sort of believe that whatever they get from Nigeria is like a privilege, not right. As much as some of them, I mean, few of them are standing on the, the fight that is a bit genuine when they are speaking about the neglect of the region, which is deliberate. I'll keep reminding you, it is deliberate. As much as this marginalization is widespread in the country, right? You can easily tell the systemic marginalization of the eastern Nigeria. And when it is time to talk about them, they will tell you they should go to their leaders. As if to say, all it's going to take is just for them to, I don't know, like, develop themselves by themselves. They don't need federal presence. So they need to go and build the seaports themselves. They need to go and dredge their river themselves. And they should build international airports themselves. And at the same time, ensure that they grant the power that we, actually give it economic activity that, you know what I mean? Like, you can book a flight from New York straight to Enugu, right? Or just book a flight from Owerri, right? Straight to Japan or from London. I'm just saying, like, something like that. Or you can receive your container, your shipment. The vessel will barge in the nearest water to you, which is River Niger itself. When it's dredged, it will take large vessels. That's what is called the dredging. And you know how many times they've told you about dredging River Niger? And it was never really dredged to that capacity. It is political. It is intentional. All of it. And in the long run, right, the people who have the capacity to make that happen believes that if that should happen with the historical, what do you call it? The historical breakback between the owners of Nigeria and the Easterners, it is going to be an indirect empowerment of the Eastern Nigeria. And if they should be allowed, they may grow beyond just a trade. They may grow militarily. They may grow in such a way that Nigeria this time around will not be able to stop them. This fear is the reason why it's called systemic marginalization. There is corruption, and there is also systemic marginalization. Intentionally, call it conspiracy theory. It's up to you. But you tell me that is it the money to build seaports in the eastern part of Nigeria or any port at all in the eastern part of Nigeria, make them work, is what people don't have. On a port is right there in rivers, okay? And the distance between there and at least the hinterland of eastern part of Nigeria is probably less than an hour or two. You get that now? But yet, intentionally, right? The system programmed it in a way that the only thing they can send to these places are called batches or badges. These are the floating platforms that they will put stuff on, and then they will drag it down to that part of Nigeria, not in commercial quantity. Meanwhile, the same water that is, that is kind of like directing the ship down to your harbor in Lagos is the same water that will barge in One. It's the same port that will even barge, even in Ondo, very close to as well. I'm just saying. But when the system says, no, this is how it's going to go, that is systemic marginalization. And it seems that the Igbo political class understood this very well. So they can put up shows in front of the people and make it look like you get, but whatever they get and the way they ask for it, it's like, please, we appreciate if you can please do this for us. We appreciate. And one thing Thiefnubu has given to them now is a promissory note. You know what they call the Southeast Development Commission. Now they are giving them money. The money is to pay for those ones they appointed their position. So they will come up with a project or any project at all. And usually, the kind of projects they always come up with. Let us go and build an extra block of classroom, IT school, portion of, these are their projects. Nothing really like capital, So Thiefnubu has promised to borrow $3.5 billion in order to upgrade the single track train that passes through eastern Nigeria and straight to Bayelsa. And then like that, let's say from Bayelsa, it will pass through the eastern part of Nigeria, which is just about 25% of the whole length and the project. And from there to Kogi, to the northern part of Nigeria and all that. So Thiefnubu is telling their politicians to go and tell the people that Thiefnubu is borrowing $3.5 billion for the development of eastern Nigeria. And politicians who knows this, Igbo politicians, they are repeating the same lie. And guess what? $3.5 billion to renovate the single gauge train, which means two trains can face themselves. So the train go take head, go Sokoto, pass through Enugu or so, Abina or Onitsha, wherever they are taking the track. We shall pass through part of the eastern Nigeria. Then from there, it goes to the north central and to the northwest. But to deceive the people, the politicians are telling their people that Thiefnubu is going to spend $3.5 billion in Igbo land. Remember? Promissory notes. So they are now going to go and look for who is going to borrow them the money to renovate the single lane, single gauge track. I don't know how to put that. So intentionally, right, putting up what they call the dilapidated kind of old form of infrastructure in itself is called systemic marginalization. So there is no amount of effort they put into their development. But if the system is intentionally like working so hard to economically cripple them because they can't be economically viable. So you can come back and say, go and talk to your politician, instead of them to hold their politician, as if to say the politicians you're asking them to hold are different from the politicians from other parts of Nigeria. They are not. Some of you know that you can't hold your own criminal politicians, right? But the system is programmed in a way that at least you can pretend to be part of a country. But the difference is, the case is different on the other side. You just need to pay attention to it. And in the process, it continues to sort of like shrink the space of opportunity for a growing population. Your population is growing. The criminal politicians continue to work with a system that marginalizes part of the country because they want to control the growth and what have you. So if you are going to be an Igbo multi-billionaire, so it should be outside Igbo land, so that at that point your wealth is attached to, so they can hold you hostage by saying, if you don't do what we want you to do, you will lose this wealth. In that regard, they became their zombie. And in the process, like I said, the country, everybody is now like looking for the opportunity in few places where they have opened up the opportunity that makes it look like a country. But once outside that space, it is just arable land of multitude heads of suffering and smiling sufferheads. That's the country they've created. Walk with me and my imagination, and you understand it perfectly well. Right? Well, we are all living witnesses to some extent. So, leaving that aside, Aregbe, Mbubaba, Kabiru, and Gbadebo, they were in Badagry this past weekend, right? And it is what they call their own ADC mobilization and familiarization tour, in which Aregbe clearly stated that they will end godfatherism in Lagos in 2027. And they will also ensure that Thiefnubu and his bad government, right, would automatically be terminated. All of this in Badagry yesterday.
Everybody! Ẹgbẹ́ tí ò wúlò tó ń fara ní wá tó ń fi ìyà ń jẹ wá tó ń fi òbí pa wá APC á lọ wà láì áfíìkò ni wọ́n fi yé wọn ò pé APC àgbàdọ̀gba àwọn fi yé wọn pé APC àgbàdọ̀gba àwa lọ̀rẹ́ tíṣà àwa lọ̀rẹ́ ọlọ́jà àwa lọ̀rẹ́ ọmọ wẹ́wẹ́ a ó fi yé wọn pé APC àgbàdọ̀gba.
ABC. Bye-bye to Jagbajagba.
Bye-bye to Jagbajagba.
Bye-bye to Rede.
Bye-bye to Rede.
Oya kẹwàá máa lọ. Àsìkò tí tó kẹwàá máa lọ. APC. Oya kẹwàá máa lọ. Àsìkò tí tó kẹwàá máa lọ. Ẹ̀yin oníranù. Oya kẹwàá máa lọ. Àsìkò tí tó. Ẹ̀yin oníranù. Àwọ̀dé ní Aláùsá. Ibi tí a kò ní yàrá wa, a ó ríra wa, a ó yọ̀ mọ́ra wa, APC ni ó ṣe gómìnà wa.
ADC. ADC. Global Lagos. I'm so happy to be here. I am so happy to see all of you. Some people thought that because of what they did last Saturday, we will be afraid. That we will not gather. That we will not do what we are supposed to do. I remember when I was saying to Honorable Omobaka that I want to postpone this thing. He said, no, we have to go on. We are going on. He said, achieve the campaign. And you know, Badagry division is a champion division. Yes. We know your power in Nigeria, we know the power of Amuwo.
That was them in Lagos. So, probably going to be a showdown as well. But it is waited to be seen, I think. Right? So more will leave that. The same weekend, the Gbenedians at the party, I think one of them, I don't know if it is their patriarch, I think, that turned 80, I mean 90, I don't know. So they were doing birthday. So dignitaries were invited. And we probably wouldn't hear anything about it until a video surfaced. It's just about 80 seconds video, 1 minute, 20 seconds or thereabout. A video that depicted what some interpreted as an embarrassing moment. Sort of. Where Alaafin of Oyo, the new Alaafin, as a guest, already seated in a church. And I think the celebrant and his wife arrived and they had to make the Alaafin move feet. Something that people are already meaning to, but I don't think there's anything wrong in that. Dan, what is he doing in the church? Are we not still talking about people who have become like they are paramount rulers, okay? And they are so revered. They are supposed to be revered simply because people see less of them in that kind of setting. I don't understand this new paramount rulers and what have you. So this happened and people are talking. The video is not that clear, but we can manage it, right? Watch this. So I think they were kind of like appealing to him that the organizer should have thought of that by ensuring that he was advised to sit at the far end of the chair or the bench. But yeah, no, that's not an embarrassment, I don't think. You know, it depends on how some of you sees it, right? That is not, it's there. And it won't make any sense if everybody's like, as he's seated, they are now passing him like this. You get that? Like passing your, that won't make sense. I just feel like somebody like that, a royal father, should pretty much, right, sit more in their palaces and let people come in to seek advice, pay homage, so that when you speak, well, maybe I'm wrong, because it's like all of them, not all of them, especially this Oni and this new Alaafin now, they probably tend to be like changing the dynamic of the office. You know, they feel like to make more impact means they have to appear more with others like that at parties, and we'll leave that. So part of the problems being faced, or should I say part of the reasons why Nupeng and Dangote were having the issue was because Dangote was planning to launch his trucks that would be delivering free oil. It's not free oil, like free delivery. So of Dangote's oil to all these oil outlets or filling stations. So they've resolved their issue to some extent, I believe, as some of the trucks are now carrying the Nupeng stickers, meaning they've resolved to some extent. So today, Dangote launched his free oil delivery across the country, and it was captured. It's a moment they captured, not like the NNPC or again. So because he took delivery of 4,000 trucks, they are CNG trucks, okay? So 4,000 trucks with the expectation of that number growing to like 10,000 and even more. So that 4,000, I believe, or part of that 4,000 were launched today as they were seen loading the product from his country, country. Yeah, in Lagos. Some people noticed this number of trucks, right, on the road next to his refinery, which some are already like complaining about the kind of traffic, because these trucks took one side of the road and it was like long kilometer of a queue. They were all headed for his refinery. And today, officially, they loaded this. So that should be good news. But those who are already in the business, they are afraid that Dangote's move will kick all of them out of business in no time. So let me explain how that will work. In Nigeria, they have those they call the oil marketers. So they are the ones that determines how much they want to sell the product. And back in the days, right, they usually, right, get a deal called subsidy from government. For example, they always import most of the product and they factor in a lot. The landing cost, the cost of refining and everything, they will break it down into liters and they put price on it. So for example, they may say, oh, it cost us to bring a liter of that fuel to Nigeria. It cost us 400 naira per liter. So the government will now say, no, you can't sell it for 400 naira. How much do you plan to sell it then? They will say, well, if we now factor in trucking, loading them and transporting them all over the country, prices will vary. So therefore, we're going to sell a liter for 500 naira per liter. So that 100 naira can go into the cost of logistics of moving it across the country. So the government will now say, oh, no, don't know. You know what we're going to do? We'll pay you 300 naira on every liter you bring, so that when you want to resell them to the marketers and what have you, you will sell them for, you said they're 400 naira, so we'll pay you 300, we'll pay you 200 naira, for example. So that means it is now going to be 200 naira landing. So by the time they load them to across the country, the prices can then be 220 naira, 250 naira, or 280 naira, depends on the distance, the way it works in Nigeria, okay? So it's been like that for a long time. Now with this Dangote and his own products, he had to depend on them. So the first baptismal of fire that he got was that they were not willing to take his product in that sense, without conditions. And also, the existing oil marketers in the country, those ones who are like the retail, those ones who end up selling at the filling stations, they wouldn't want to go and transact with Dangote if the truckers are not going to bring them. By that, they are real suppliers that they have been with for so long. That could also ruin that. So it became a problem. So how did he plan to resolve that? So guy went back to Europe, right? I'm not even sure if they built all those trucks in Europe or China. I don't know. Anyway, he went abroad, got a deal to build his own CNG, not like petrol or diesel kind of trucks. CNG that will use gas. CNG trucks, and he ordered 10,000 trucks. Because according to what I heard, though, they said they factored that with 10,000 trucks, that simply means there is a chance of him supplying almost half of Nigerian filling stations. So he went on to sign a deal with another like oil distributing company called MRS. So those ones have their filling stations all over the country like that. So another ones like that. So sign a deal with them. I will deliver your product to you for free. That simply means I can control your profits. The part of the monopoly that they have been talking about, this is it now. Again, say now one factor lead to another, by the way, right? So what if I bring the product to you? All you have to do is just open your tank, okay? And we deliver the product to you and you sell. And listen, we can give it to you for 800 naira. So all you have to do is just stay in your house, stay in your anywhere you want to be, right? And receive the product in your filling station. You don't have to worry about how it's going to get there because we'll take care of that and we're not going to charge you. That's the most sweetest deal to possibly do what they call the hostile takeover. So that's their fear. So right now, Dangote over time will have the power. He's still going to face God knows what other things they're going to pull off because Thiefnubu's alleged nephew, Tinubu, is that not his name? The Ohando guy. Is the brain, there were two, by the way, there's another one from Kwara, I can't remember his name. So there are two. The brain behind the importation of petroleum products from Malta that has increased astronomically under Thiefnubu. And Ohando, Baba, they've made so much money that they've ever made since their existence. They made that in a year under Thiefnubu. They are doing fine. So with this Dangote stuff, their products coming to Nigeria and people taking them and is controlling the price means if they bring anything from Malta, two things will have to happen. One, Thiefnubu would have to promise them the difference because if Dangote is supplying half of the country, its product, and it controls how much they sell it, ordinarily today, as much as they said refineries is not a good business or whatever, right? Building refineries these days is pretty much like not a good business with the fluctuating price of crude oil and all of that things they used to say. So here is the thing. To refine a liter of petrol from a barrel of crude oil, right? So it simply means that the cost of 1 liter of petroleum refined is somewhere around 540 something naira, even with this your weak naira. So that simply means that Dangote, with production, with everything, Dangote can still sell his product for 600 naira or 650 naira, and it will still make a lot of money. So once it's cornered half of the market or 2/3 of the market, so whatever rock they want to pull under him, then I'm going to probably love to see it. Just kind of play with the numbers. So playing with the numbers, here is a police officer reminding us the tricks of his colleagues whenever they are extorting people. It's been a long evening, right? Not bad. Watch this before we call it a night. You probably will need it. A police officer.
The latest that some bad officers within the force now, what I hear from my fans that they do is that they even have POS. You have taken your corruption to that level. You have rubbished the image of Nigerian police to that level. Some of you will have POS on your own, or you will liaise with one useless idiot who is a POS person to be extorting. Such officers, I tell you, my brother, no matter how much you collect, you will just waste it. You won't know how you spent it. And because people you are collecting money from, that you are forcing to give you money, they are not happy. And besides, you will be caught one day red-handed when Nigerians video you, they record you and post it online. Then you will know, say, your own don't finish. What an effrontery. This is preposterous. This is unbelievable. This is unpoliceman-like. Oh, it's no longer, you no longer collect your money now within the vicinity of your office. It is now POS. We will do everything within our power. We will do everything within our power, those of us who love this police job.
We will do everything within our power, to make sure the job becomes so good, so attractive, so loving to the members of the public. But for few of you that you have resolved that your own is just to continue to do everything to spoil it, no wonder you will not. No wonder at the end of the day, even when you retire, you don't make it. You look wretched. You look unkempt. You will retire within that. After your 35 years, you continue to live from hand to mouth. You don't have plan because people are not happy with you. You cannot connect. You have forgotten that by the time you finish this job, if you did it very well, you will reconnect with the public, and people will now be talking about you. Mr. POS, Madam POS, well done. Continue with it. Your nemesis will come one day. I've said it again. You know bail is free. Don't force people to give you money for bail. And let me say this. I am not a perfect policeman. I'll continue to hide it. I was never perfect, and I am not perfect. Only God is perfect. But always work with your conscience. Always put people in your position. Put that person in your position. Turn the table and let's see whether you will be happy if what you are doing to him or her now, whether if they do it to you, whether you'll be happy.
Ìgbà kan máa dé, àsìkò kọ́ṣì ń bọ̀ wá, ìgbà kan máa dé, àsìkò kọ́ṣì ń bọ̀ wá, tólórò máa sáré, ọlọ́pàá máa sáré, ayé máa sáré, ẹyẹ tí ò dúró rere máa sáré, àlórà máa sáré, HS tí kò mọ kankan máa sáré, everybody máa sáré, gbogbo wa pátá máa sáré, ìgbà yẹn ti dé, àsìkò yẹn náà là wá. Ìgbà yẹn ti dé, àsìkò yẹn náà là wá, everybody máa sáré, ọlọ́pàá máa sáré, àwọn tó ń ṣòro gan máa sáré, olúmọlẹ̀ máa sáré, àpènà máa sáré, olúwo ìlú gan máa sáré, everybody pátápátá máa sáré.
Everybody pátápátá máa sáré, ìgbà yẹn máa dé, àsìkò yẹn ṣì ń bọ̀ wá, ìgbà yẹn máa dé, àsìkò yẹn ṣì ń bọ̀ wá. Ọlọ́pàá máa sáré, olóró máa sáré, lèmọ́mù máa sáré, Reverend Father gan máa sáré, àpáta máa sáré. It's not funny. Anyway, thank you so much for your time again this evening, and thanks so much for the support and the encouragement as well. So it's been a long night enough, and I intend to see you again, tomorrow. Please, let's use the number. Let's take advantage of the fact that we are here. Don't leave without liking the broadcast. It actually does something. Enjoy the rest of the evening. And I will see you again. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun #1.
Bó bá ṣeré àní máyégún máa wí.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
ó sì tún ṣeré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
máyégún diary politico.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ máyégún.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
àní máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Mayegun diary na ibi number one.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
kí gómìnà gbówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
ha kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ Badagry ò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ Badagry ò ní fi wọ́n níran.